Welcome, dear listener, to relaxing explorers and discoveries to fall asleep to. If you're nestled under your covers, eyes growing heavy, searching for that tranquil path to dreams, you've arrived at the perfect haven. Picture this: the room around you fades, replaced by a vast, starry sky where time stretches endlessly. Let the tensions of your day dissolve, evaporating like dew under a warm sun. These narratives are crafted with care, weaving the gentle threads of history's wanderers and their quiet revelations. No haste, no clamor, just the soothing cadence of exploration to lull you into slumber. Subscribe today to become part of our serene circle of nighttime voyagers, and tap that notification bell to ensure these peaceful tales find you whenever you need them. If these soft-spoken histories wrap you in comfort, give this video a like and share it with a friend who could use a whisper of calm in their evening. Now, take a slow, deep breath. Inhale the quiet, exhale the noise, and allow the journey to unfold.
Tonight, we address you, the seeker of repose in a bustling world. Perhaps you're an adult wrestling with sleepless nights, your mind racing like a distant storm, yearning for stories that calm rather than excite. Or maybe you're a lover of the past, drawn to the subtle artistry of historical accounts delivered in hushed tones, without the drama of battles or conquests. These tales are tailored for mature minds like yours, appreciating the understated elegance of discovery. The way a single footprint in sand can echo through centuries. We'll meander through the lives of explorers such as Marco Polo, whose paths wound like lazy rivers across ancient trade routes, and Ibn Battuta, whose pilgrimages bloomed into lifelong serenades of wonder. Interwoven are discoveries like forgotten stones that whisper secrets from bygone eras. Here, there's no urgency, only the rhythmic pulse of history, guiding you gently toward restful oblivion.
Let us commence with Marco Polo, the Venetian merchant whose odyssey unfolded like a dreamscape of silk and spice, a journey that bridged worlds in the soft glow of curiosity. Born in the year 1254 in the shimmering city of Venice, a labyrinth of canals where gondolas glided silently under arched bridges, Marco entered a world alive with the hum of commerce. Venice, then a thriving republic, was a gateway between East and West, its markets fragrant with exotic goods from afar. Marco's father, Niccolo Polo, and his uncle, Maffeo Polo, were intrepid merchants who had already ventured deep into the unknown. In 1260, they set out from Constantinople, traversing the vast expanses of the Mongol Empire, a realm of endless steppes and nomadic horsemen. Their path led them through Bukhara in Uzbekistan, where they joined a caravan bound for the court of the great Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan and ruler of the Yuan dynasty in China. Kublai, a wise and expansive emperor, welcomed these Western visitors with open arms, entrusting them with messages for the Pope and samples of Eastern wonders like asbestos cloth that defied fire. After years of travel, Niccolo and Maffeo returned to Venice in 1269, only to find that Marco, now a young man of 15, had been raised by relatives in the absence of his mother, who had passed away during their journey. The tales spun by his father and uncle ignited a quiet flame of wanderlust in Marco's heart. Venice, with its grand Doge's palace and the Basilica of San Marco adorned in golden mosaics, felt suddenly small compared to the vast horizons they described. In 1271, at the tender age of 17, Marco embarked with them on what would become a 24-year epic. Bearing papal letters and holy oil as gifts for Kublai, they sailed first to Acre in the Holy Land, a bustling port under Crusader control, where the air was thick with the scents of myrrh and frankincense. From there, they turned eastward, joining caravans along the fabled Silk Road, a network of ancient paths that whispered of trade and mystery. Their path wound through Armenia, with its rugged mountains cloaked in mist, and into Persia, where the Polo family navigated the opulent courts of the Ilkhanate, descendants of the Mongols. They crossed the arid expanses of the Iranian plateau, pausing at oases where date palms swayed gently in the breeze, offering shade and sweet fruit to weary travelers.
Finally, in 1295, after 24 years abroad, the Polos returned to Venice, their appearances so altered by Eastern garb that relatives scarcely recognized them. They revealed hidden jewels sewn into their robes, symbols of the wealth accrued. But fate turned. In 1298, during a naval war with Genoa, Marco was captured at the Battle of Curzola and imprisoned. In the quiet confines of his cell, he dictated his adventures to fellow inmate Rustichello da Pisa, a romance writer, resulting in The Travels of Marco Polo, also known as Il Milione, the Book of a Million Wonders. Released in 1299, Marco married Donata Badour, fathered 3 daughters, Fantina, Belella, and Moretta, and lived as a prosperous merchant. He passed away peacefully on January 8, 1324, at age 70. His final words reportedly urging belief in his tales, for he had described but half of what he saw. Marco's legacy endures as a soft bridge of understanding, inspiring explorers like Columbus and opening European eyes to Asia's tranquil splendors. Now, as the weight of your eyelids increases, like petals closing at dusk, let us glide seamlessly to the story of Ibn Battuta, the Moroccan scholar whose life was a poetic odyssey of faith and discovery, spanning continents in a harmonious quest for knowledge. Born on February 24, 1304, in the coastal city of Tangier, under the rule of the Marinid dynasty, Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Battuta grew up in a family of Berber descent, steeped in Islamic scholarship. Tangier, a gateway between Africa and Europe, overlooked the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Mediterranean's azure waters met the Atlantic's gentle swells. As a young man, Ibn Battuta pursued studies in Islamic jurisprudence, or fiqh, becoming a qadi, or judge, in the Maliki school of law. But at the age of 21, in June 1325, a profound calling stirred within him. The Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca, one of Islam's 5 pillars. Leaving behind his family without fanfare, he set out alone, his heart attuned to the spiritual rhythms of the road. His journey began along the North African coast, traveling by caravan through the Maghreb's sun-kissed landscapes. In Tunis, the vibrant capital of the Hafsid dynasty, he lingered amid minarets and madrasas, joining scholars in discussions under olive trees. Continuing to Alexandria, Egypt's pearl by the sea, he wandered its libraries and harbors where ships from distant lands unloaded silks and spices. In Cairo, under the Mamluk rule, the Nile's serene flow captivated him. He visited the pyramids, ancient sentinels standing silent against the sky, and the bustling souks where merchants bartered in hushed tones. From there, he sailed up the Nile to Upper Egypt, then crossed the desert
to the Red Sea port of Aidab, but unrest diverted him northward to Damascus. Arriving during Ramadan 1326, he fasted and studied in the Umayyad Mosque, its mosaics glowing like emeralds in the soft light. Finally, joining a caravan, he reached Medina, the city of the Prophet, where he prayed at the tranquil Mosque of the Prophet, then Mecca, completing his Hajj amid the Ka'ba's sacred embrace.
Yet the pilgrimage's end marked only the beginning. Ibn Battuta's soul yearned for more, leading him to Persia and Iraq. In Basra, he sailed the Tigris, visiting shrines in Najaf and Karbala, places of quiet reverence. He explored Shiraz and Isfahan, with their gardens of roses and nightingales singing lullabies. Venturing north to Anatolia, he crossed the Black Sea to the Crimea, encountering the Golden Horde's nomadic camps under vast skies. In Constantinople, the Byzantine capital, he met Emperor Andronikos III, marveling at Hagia Sophia's domes floating like clouds. Through the steppes of Central Asia, he reached Samarkand, its turquoise tiles reflecting Timurid splendor. By 1333, he arrived in Delhi, India, serving as Qadi to Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq, whose court was a mosaic of poets and scholars. He journeyed south to the Deccan, then to the Maldives, tropical isles of white sands and swaying palms, where he married into royalty and served as judge. From there to Sri Lanka's Adam's Peak, a mountain of spiritual ascent, and Bengal's rivers teeming with life. Sailing to China in 1345, he visited Quanzhou's ports, alive with junks and merchants, and Hangzhou's West Lake, a mirror of serenity. Returning via Sumatra and Arabia, he explored East Africa's Swahili coast, Mogadishu with its coral mosques, Kilwa's island palaces amid mangrove whispers. Back in the Mediterranean, he visited Sardinia and Al-Andalus, Granada's Alhambra, with fountains murmuring eternal peace. His final great trek crossed the Sahara to Mali in 1352, reaching Timbuktu, a center of gold and learning, where manuscripts glowed in lamplight. After 29 years and over 75,000 miles, far surpassing Marco Polo's distance, he returned to Morocco in 1354 amid the Black Death's shadow. Sultan Abu Inan commissioned him to dictate his experiences to scribe Ibn Juzai, creating a gift to those who contemplate the wonders of cities and the marvels of traveling, or the Rihla, a tome of cultural insights from Mali's salt mines to China's porcelain. Ibn Battuta lived out his days as a Qadi in Morocco, passing around 1368 or 1369. His legacy, a testament to the unifying grace of travel and faith. Feel the tranquility of his wanderings envelop you, like a warm blanket on a cool night.
Breathe in the salt air. Exhale the day. We are still drifting, dear listener, on the same gentle cloud that carried Marco and Ibn Battuta. Tonight the cloud lowers itself to the surface of a quiet sea, 1492, where three tiny ships rock like cradles under a canopy of stars. Your pillow is the deck of the Santa Maria. Your blanket is the warm trade wind. Subscribe now so this wind finds you every night. tap the bell, and the bell will ring only in dreams. Like this voyage if your heart is already slowing. Share it with someone whose thoughts race at midnight. Now, let the horizon tilt, and we sail. Christopher Columbus, the man who listened to the sea. Close your eyes and feel the wooden planks beneath your back. Smell pine tar and wet rope. Hear the creak of spars and the soft slap of canvas. You are aboard the flagship, 3 August 1492, Palo Stella Frontera, Spain. The tide is turning. So is history. Christopher Columbus, Cristoforo Colombo in his native Genoa, was born in the autumn of 1451, when the Mediterranean still sang lullabies to marble cities. His father Domenico wove wool by day and taught his son the stars by night. Little Cristoforo traced constellations on the floorboards with a piece of charcoal. Orion the hunter, Ursa Major the great bear, Polaris the nail that holds the sky in place. By age 10, he could sail a skiff alone across Genoa's harbor, eyes closed, guided only by the wind's whisper on his cheek. At 14, he shipped out on a merchant brigantine. At 25, he survived a pirate attack off Portugal, ship burning, arrows whistling, clinging to an oar for 6 hours until the tide washed him onto a beach near Lagos.
The sea gave him back his life, and he gave the sea his heart. He married Filipa Perestrello in 1479, daughter of a Madeira navigator, and slept each night surrounded by her father's charts, parchments, smelling of candle smoke and cinnamon. On those charts, he traced a dream: sail west to reach east. The earth, he insisted, was not flat, it was a perfect orange, and if you peeled it with courage, you would arrive in Cathay. Kings laughed. Portugal's João II sent him away. Venice shrugged. But in the little Spanish town of La Rábida, a kind friar named Juan Pérez listened while Columbus spoke of Marco Polo's golden roofs and Supangu's pearl islands. The friar wrote a letter. The letter reached Queen Isabella. On 17 April 1492, in the perfumed gardens of Santa Fe, Isabella said yes. 3 caravels were made ready. Santa Maria, 23 meters of gentle giant. Pinta, swift as a swallow. Niña, the favorite, small enough to rock you to sleep. 3rd August, the harbor bells tolled once, twice, then fell silent. 90 men, 3 ships, and a Genoese captain who carried an Arabic, Hebrew, Latin psalm book in his pocket. They slipped their moorings at dawn. Feel the deck lift under your body now. The anchor chain rattles like a lullaby. The sails fill. Soft whump, soft whump. Spain shrinks to a golden line, then to a memory. For 33 nights, the fleet drifted on the Canaries current, warm and steady as a mother's pulse. Columbus kept 2 logbooks, one for the crew, short distances, no panic. One for himself, true distances, growing wonder. Every evening, he stood on the poop deck, sextant in hand, measuring the height of Polaris. Every evening, the stars sank a little lower, telling him the world was round and kind. The sailors sang vespers. The dolphins followed, silver arcs in emerald water. On 12 October, at 2 a.m., Rodrigo de Triana cried "Tierra" from the Pinta's crow's nest. A new moon hung like a clipped fingernail. The scent of land, wet earth and sweet flowers drifted across the water. They named the island Guanahani,
then San Salvador. The Taíno people came in canoes carved from single ceiba trees, offering parrots and balls of cotton. Columbus wrote in his journal, "They are gentle and do not know iron. I could conquer them with 50 men and make them do whatever I wish." But tonight, we hear only the gentle part. Hear the palm fronds brushing one another. Feel the sand between your toes, still warm from the day's sun. Columbus planted a wooden cross, no louder than a heartbeat, and named the place where Europe and America first kissed.
He explored Cuba, mistaking it for Marco Polo's Sipangu. He sailed along the northern coast of Hispaniola, where mountains rose like sleeping giants draped in emerald velvet. On Christmas Eve, the Santa Maria sighed onto a coral reef. The timbers groaned, the sea hushed, and the ship settled like a child into bed. From her ribs, the men built a tiny fort called La Navidad, the Nativity, and left 39 volunteers beneath a roof of palm thatch. Columbus sailed home on the Little Nina, riding the Gulf Stream's cradle all the way to Lisbon. When he knelt before Isabella in Barcelona, he laid at her feet 7 Taíno captives wearing feathers softer than silk, gold nuggets the size of lentils, and a map that proved the world was larger than anyone had dreamed, yet small enough to cross in 33 days. 3 more voyages followed, each slower, each heavier with wonder. 1493, 17 ships, 1,200 men, the first cattle to moo on American soil. 1498, the sight of Trinidad's 3 peaks rising from a calm sea like the Trinity itself. 1502, the coast of Veragua, where he heard the distant roar of jaguars and believed he was 10 days from the Ganges. He never found Marco Polo's golden palaces, but he found continents that rocked the world to sleep and woke it up again. On 20 May 1506, in a quiet room in Valladolid, Columbus died, whispering the psalm he had carried across oceans. In manus tuas, Domine, into your hands, Lord. His body was buried first in Valladolid, then Seville, then Santo Domingo, then Havana, and finally back to Seville. A sailor who could not rest until the whole world had cradled him. Tonight, let his oceans cradle you. Feel the Nina rock, rock, rock. 10 slow wave sounds. A single bell rings 3 times far away. The Rosetta Stone, a whisper that unlocked 3,000 years. Without moving from the ship's deck, let the scene dissolve. The salt wind becomes hot desert air. The creak of spars becomes the hush of papyrus. You are lying on warm sand beside the Nile, 15 July, 1799. Napoleon's soldiers are building a fort near the town of Rashid, Rosetta. A cannonball has just uncovered something darker than the night. Lieutenant Pierre-François Bouchard kneels. His lantern reveals a slab of black granite, 112 centimeters tall, 76 centimeters wide, weighing 3/4 of a ton, yet light enough for history to lift. 3 scripts march across its face like quiet soldiers. Top, Egyptian hieroglyphics, tiny birds, eyes, reeds, snakes. Middle,
Egyptian Demotic, hurried cursive, the people's handwriting. Bottom, Ancient Greek, letters you almost recognize. All three say the same thing, a thank you note from priests to King Ptolemy V, 196 BC, for canceling taxes.
The stone is carried to Cairo on a camel that sways like a slow pendulum. Scholars gather by candlelight. They copy, they trace, they fall asleep on the words. In 1801, the French surrender Egypt. British officers wrap the stone in straw, load it onto HMS Egyptienne, and sail it home through storms that rock harder than Columbus ever knew. On 11th February 1802, it arrives at Portsmouth. King George III sends it to the British Museum, where it still sleeps today, behind glass that fogs when you breathe on it. For 20 years, the stone waits for its lullaby. In 1814, an English doctor, Thomas Young, notices that royal names, Ptolemy, Cleopatra, are boxed in ovals called cartouches. He matches Ptolemays in Greek to the hieroglyphs inside the oval. A soft click, like a key turning in a dream. But the full song belongs to a Frenchman who never saw the stone itself. Jean-François Champollion was born in 1790, the year after the French Revolution. As a boy, he taught himself Hebrew, Arabic, Syriac, Chaldean, tongues that floated through his bedroom like fireflies. At age 11, he announced he would read hieroglyphs. People laughed until they saw his eyes. In 1822, in a narrow Paris apartment lit by one oil lamp, Champollion holds a copy of the stone. He compares the Greek word for birthday, genethlia, to a hieroglyph group that appears exactly 33 times, Ptolemy's age. He tries the sounds on his tongue. P, T, O, L, M, S. Then he tries the same sounds on the name Ramesses from another inscription. R, M, S, S. The symbols match. Suddenly, the walls of every temple in Egypt begin to speak. Champollion runs barefoot into the street, shouting, "Je trouve une affaire! I've got it!" then faints in his brother's arms from joy. Because of one quiet stone, we now read the love poems of a Thebes teenager, the grocery lists of pyramid builders, the lullabies sung to baby pharaohs. We know that Tutankhamen's name means living image of moon, and that Queen Nefertiti's name means the beautiful one has come. The Nile sings again after 2,000 years of silence. Tonight, the Rosetta Stone is your nightlight. Imagine its black surface glowing faintly under moonlight in Bloomsbury. Imagine the tiny owl hieroglyph that means the letter M, a soft like a mother humming. Let that hum carry you across the desert, across the sea, across centuries. Pause. Only the sound of a reed pen scratching on papyrus. Shh, 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 for 15 slow breaths. You have now drifted from Venice to Chengdu, from Tangier to Timbuktu, from Palos to San Salvador, from a battlefield fort to a museum case. Your body is heavy. Your thoughts are feathers. Wherever you are in the story, stay there. The ships will rock. The desert wind will cool your brow. The hieroglyphs will spell your name in a language older than dreams. If this voyage has softened the edges of your night, press like so YouTube knows to send more clouds. Subscribe so the next port is already waiting. Leave a comment that says only "still drifting," and I will know you are asleep.
You are lying on your back on a low mound of earth. The grass is cool, silvered by moonlight. Beneath you, 9 ancient cities sleep, one on top of the other, like 9 blankets keeping the planet warm. This is Hisarlik Hill, northwest Turkey, the place Homer called Windy Ilios, the place archaeologists called Troy. Your pillow is a broken marble column. Your blanket is the same Aegean breeze that once cooled Helen's hair. Breathe in the scent of thyme and salt. Breathe out 10,000 years. Troy, 9 lullabies in one hill. Close your eyes and feel the ground breathing. Every time you exhale, another city sinks deeper into dreams. Layer 1, Troy 1, 3000 to 2600 BC. The first people arrived when the world was still new. They built a tiny wall of river stones no higher than your knee. Inside, they baked bread in clay ovens shaped like beehives. Their babies teethed on tiny copper pins. Listen, you can almost hear the soft pop of dough rising. Layer 2, Troy 2, 2600 to 2250 BC. A king named He Who Loves Gold ruled here. He buried his treasures in a cache we now call Priam's treasure, even though Priam was still 2,000 years away. Imagine a diadem of 16,000 golden beads, each bead smaller than a raindrop, draped across a queen's forehead as she slept. The gold is still warm from her skin.
Layer 3, Troy the 3rd, 4th, 5th. Quiet centuries. Potters spun red bowls on slow wheels. Children chased hoopoes through streets no wider than your arms. Nothing dramatic, just the gentle heartbeat of ordinary mornings. Layer 6, Troy the 6th, 1700 to 1250 BC. Now the walls grow tall and slanted, built to lean into earthquakes the way a mother leans into her child's fever. Horses clop through a gateway wide enough for 2 chariots abreast. Inside, longhouses glow with olive oil lamps. A princess braids her hair with lapis lazuli beads imported from Afghanistan. She hums a lullaby in Luwian, a language now known only to the wind. Layer 7, Troy 7a, circa 1180 BC. This is the city that listened to bronze swords. One spring evening, the sky turned the color of bruised peaches. A wooden horse stood outside the Scaean gate, so quiet the sentries heard only their own heartbeats. Inside the horse, Greek warriors breathed through reeds. When the gates opened for the victory feast, the warriors stepped out like sleepwalkers. They did not shout. They simply walked through the streets, touching walls that would soon be ash. Tonight, those ashes are cool beneath your shoulder blades.
Layer 8, Troy 8, 700 to 85 BC. Greek colonists returned, built a temple to Athena where the horse once stood. They carved owls on their coins, owls that still blink at you from museum drawers. Layer 9, Troy 9, 85 BC to 500 AD. Roman emperors paved marble streets. Hadrian planted plane trees whose leaves whispered Latin. Then the city closed its eyes again. In 1871, a German dreamer named Heinrich Schliemann arrived with a copy of Homer in one hand and a shovel in the other.
He dug too fast, cut through 5 cities like a child ripping wrapping paper. But when he found a golden earring shaped like a tiny basket, he placed it on his wife Sophia's ear and whispered, "This belonged to Helen." Sophia smiled in the moonlight, and for one moment the earring was warm again. Later, quieter men, Derpfeld, Blajan, Korfman, dug with teaspoons and paintbrushes. They found loom weights dropped mid-weave, a child's clay toy chariot, and a bronze fibula still pinned to a cloak that vanished 2 millennia ago. Tonight, those objects are dreaming beside you. Feel the cool metal of the fibula against your collarbone. Let Troy's 9 heartbeats rock you. Pause. Only the sound of grasshoppers, tseek, 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 for 12 slow breaths. Zheng He, the eunuch admiral who sailed on moonlight. Without waking, let the hill dissolve. The grass becomes silk. The bronze bell becomes a temple gong. You are floating on a deck 9 masts high, each mast hung with red sails the color of pomegranate flowers. The year is 1405. The ocean is black glass. The stars are so close you could trail your fingers through them. Zheng He, born Mahi in 1371 in landlocked Yunnan, was captured at age 10 when Ming army swept through his village. They took his family, his name, and, in the quiet of a candlelit palace, his future children. But they could not take the sky from his eyes. He grew tall, broad-shouldered, soft-spoken. The young Li emperor looked at him and saw an ocean. He gave him a new name, Zheng, and a fleet of floating cities.
Picture the treasure ships, 400 feet stem to stern, 5 times Columbus's Santa Maria, 9 masts rising like bamboo prayers, hulls painted vermilion and gold, watertight compartments so the sea could not enter, decks wide enough for 500 men to lie down and dream. On 11 July 1405, the First Fleet left Nanking. Listen to the drums, boom, rest, slow as a sleeping heart. 28,000 souls aboard 317 vessels. Scholars who read the stars in Arabic, cooks who stirred curry in iron cauldrons big as bathtubs, giraffes from Malindi pacing their pens, Buddhist monks chanting under paper lanterns. They sailed with the monsoon, a warm breath pushing them southwest. At Champa, Vietnam, they traded porcelain for kingfisher feathers. At Java, they loaded pepper that smelled of Christmas. At Palembang, they rescued a Chinese pirate who became their pilot. Every port received a gift, a scroll of calligraphy, a bolt of damask silk, the soft promise that China asked for friendship, not conquest. In 1413, the 4th voyage reached Hormuz. Imagine the harbor at sunset. Ming ships like red mountains, Arab dhows like white birds, the air thick with frankincense and cinnamon. Zheng He walked ashore barefoot, his 7-foot frame draped in cloud-patterned brocade. He knelt before the local sultan and offered a giraffe. The sultan wept, believing it was a qilin, a unicorn that appears only when the ruler is wise. That night, the 2 men sat on carpets, drinking tea from celadon cups, while the Indian Ocean lapped the pier like a cat. The 6th voyage, 1421, carried the fleet to Africa. At Mogadishu, the sailors heard the call to prayer drift over coral walls. At Malindi, they loaded a lion, a zebra, and an ostrich that laid eggs the size of lanterns. On the return journey, the ostrich eggs were hollowed, painted with dragons, and hung from the mainmast to glow like moons.
7 voyages in 28 years. No colonies, no forts, only gifts and star charts. When Zheng He died, perhaps at Calicut, perhaps at sea, The emperor ordered the fleet's logs burned. The ocean kept the secret. But tonight, the logs are open again. Feel the warm teak deck under your cheek. Hear the silk sails luffing. Flap, rest, flap, rest. Count the 9 masts the way you once counted sheep. Pause. Only the sound of water against the hull. Sha, loo, sha, loo, for 15 slow breaths. Closing the 3rd hour, you have now slept beneath 9 cities and sailed on 9 masts. Your dreams are stitched with Trojan gold and Ming silk. The Aegean wind and the monsoon wind have braided themselves into one lullaby. If this double cradle has loosened every knot in your spine, press like so the algorithm knows to send more silk. Subscribe so the next voyage is already loading. Comment only, still rocking, and I will know you are adrift in the best possible way.
Whoosh, whoosh, its wings brushing the inside of your skull. Salt wind, breadfruit scent, the faint creak of a ship that has forgotten the year. Lie on your back in a hammock of starlight. The hammock is slung between 2 centuries. One end is tied to 1768, the other to 1804. Between them swings the entire Pacific, and the whole of North America is a soft blanket across your chest. Breathe in for 7 heartbeats, breathe out for 11. Subscribe now so the hammock never unties. Like this if your shoulders are already melting. Comment only, still swinging, and I'll know you're gone. James Cook, the farmer's son who mapped the moonlit sea. Feel the rough wool of a Yorkshire coat against your cheek. It is 1736. A 9-year-old boy named James Cook is lying in the loft of a barn, counting constellations through a gap in the shingles. His father, a Scottish day laborer, whispers, "Mind the plough, lad, it'll guide you home." Little James falls asleep clutching a piece of charcoal and dreams of oceans he has never seen. Fast forward 32 years. The barn is gone. The boy is now Captain James Cook, 40 years old, eyes the color of storm-cooled tea. He stands on the deck of H.M. Bark Endeavour, Whitby-built, flat-bottomed, gentle as a cradle. It is 26th August, 1768, Plymouth Sound. The sails fill with a sigh. On board, 94 souls, 12 months of sauerkraut to prevent scurvy, a library of star charts, a Tahitian navigator named Tupaya, who already knows where every reef is sleeping. First destination, the new planet Venus, due to slide across the face of the sun on 3 June 1769. Cook must watch the slide from a perfect South Pacific island and measure how long Venus wears the sun's halo. That measurement will tell the world how far away the sun actually is. Imagine every king in Europe waiting for a Yorkshire farmer's son to weigh the daylight.
The Endeavour rounds Cape Horn in a cradle of albatross shadows. The crew sings Heart of Oak so softly the Southern Ocean thinks it's a lullaby. On 13th April 1769, they drop anchor in Matavai Bay, Tahiti. The water is warm gin. The breadfruit trees lean over the rail as if to kiss the sailors goodnight. Tupaya steps ashore barefoot, speaks to the chiefs in a language older than England, and within an hour, the entire bay is rocking to the same drumbeat. Cook sets up his observatory on a beach of black volcanic sand. He names it Point Venus. On transit day, the sky is flawless. Venus appears as a perfect black pearl. Cook's chronometer ticks like a sleeping heart. The measurement is taken. The sun is 93 million miles away, close enough to warm your face, far enough to let you dream. But Cook is only warming up. He opens sealed orders. Sail south until you find the great southern continent, or until you run out of south. So he does. For 3 months, the Endeavour glides through emptiness, dolphins stitching silver threads through indigo. On 19th April 1770, a sailor cries, "Land!" A coastline of eucalyptus and honey-colored cliffs rises like the edge of a dream. Cook names it New South Wales because it reminds him of home, only kinder. At Botany Bay, the Gweagal people paddle out in bark canoes, spears held high, but voices low. Cook offers beads, they offer fish. Both sides go to sleep richer. Next, the Great Barrier Reef, a continent of coral cathedrals. One midnight the ship strikes. The hull shudders like a struck bell. Cook orders every man to pray in his own language. Then he orders the pumps. For 7 weeks they nurse the wounded ship to a river mouth. They careen her on a beach of white sand, patch her with sailcloth and optimism, and name the river Endeavour in her honor. When she floats again, every sailor kisses her repaired planks as if kissing a child goodnight.
Second voyage, 1772 to 1775. Cook crosses the Antarctic Circle 3 times, proving there is no icy continent big enough to balance the world, only a breathing ocean of icebergs shaped like sleeping swans. Third voyage, 1776 to 1779. He threads the Pacific like a needle through silk, mapping Hawaii, where the surf sounds like distant applause. On 14 February 1779, a misunderstanding on Kealakekua Beach. A cutter is stolen. Words are exchanged. A club rises. Cook falls into water the color of hibiscus tea. The greatest navigator the world has ever known is cradled at last by the sea he measured. Tonight, his chronometer still ticks inside your wrist. Tick, rock, tick, rock. Pause. Only the sound of surf on coral. For 15 slow breaths. Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, the continent that walked itself. The hammock tilts. The Pacific becomes prairie grass up to your chin. You are lying in a bison robe. Great Falls, Montana, July 1805. A thunderstorm grumbles overhead, but the robe smells of sweetgrass and safety. Meriwether Lewis, 29, red hair, gray eyes that have read every book in Virginia, writes in his journal by lightning flashes. William Clark, 34, cartographer with hands gentle enough to deliver babies, sketches the Missouri River the way other men sketch lullabies. Between them sits Sacagawea, 16 years old, 6 months pregnant, carrying her 2-month-old son, Pomp, on a cradle board. She is Shoshone, stolen by Hidatsa at age 10, won in a gamble by French-Canadian trapper Toussaint Charbonneau, now hired as interpreter. Her name means bird woman. Tonight, she is the only one who knows the way home. The Corps of Discovery, 33 souls, 1 Newfoundland dog named Seaman, left St. Louis 14 months ago in 3 boats stitched from elk hide. They have paddled, portaged, and prayed up the Missouri, past grizzlies the size of pianos, past mosquitoes that sing in 4-part harmony. At the Great Falls, they haul canoes overland for 18 days. Ropes cutting shoulders, sunsets painting the cliffs rose gold. Sacagawea recognizes every landmark. This is where my people summered. That ridge is shaped like a sleeping buffalo. When they reach the Shoshone village, her brother Cameawait is now chief. He weeps into her braids. In exchange for horses, he gives them the Continental Divide, a saddle of snow where 2 oceans are born.
August 12, 1805. Lewis climbs a ridge alone. He expects to see the Columbia River sparkling westward. Instead, he sees more mountains, wave upon wave of blue ridges fading into lavender. He writes one sentence: "I have seen the backbone of a continent, and it is beautiful." Tonight, that backbone is your pillow. Feel the cool granite against your temple. They build dugout canoes from ponderosa pines, launch them into the Clearwater, then the Snake, then the mighty Columbia. The river sings baritone. Salmon leap like silver commas. On 7 November 1805, Clark writes, "Ocean in view, oh the joy." He spelled it wrong, but the joy was perfect. They winter at Fort Clatsop, rain drumming on cedar shingles every night for 4 months. Sacagawea teaches the men to eat camas root and wapato, sings pomp to sleep in Shoshone, French, and the private language only mothers know. Spring, 1806. They turn homeward. Snow still crowns the Bitterroots, but the horses remember the way. On 23rd September, they paddle into St. Louis. The town fires cannons. Children wave willow branches. Sacagawea stands quietly on the bow, Pomp asleep against her heart. She has walked 4,000 miles and never once complained. Tonight, her heartbeat is the soft drum under your ear. Pause. Only the sound of bison breathing. Hoof, hoof, for 12 slow breaths. The quiet revolutions. Newton, Fleming, Watson, and Crick. The prairie dissolves into candlelight. You are in 3 rooms at once. Room 1, Woolsthorpe Manor, 1666. A 23-year-old Isaac Newton sits beneath an apple tree. An apple falls not on his head, but beside his foot with a soft thud. He watches it roll downhill, picks it up, feels its perfect weight. In that moment, he realizes the same force that pulls the apple pulls the moon.